unfortunately, it's been clear just from the news that the ceasefire isn't really a ceasefire. I mean, Israel has not respected this ceasefire just the same way it hasn't respected any previous ceasefires, and people still are being killed. And we continue to see Israel get away with its crimes and with its violations against international law without any accountability. So for as long as Israel is enjoying that kind of impunity and it continues to abuse international law in Palestine, people should continue to mobilize. I understand the sentiment that sometimes we feel helpless, that there isn't much to do, but actually there are a lot of examples for the kind of power that people have in mobilization, which is really what we can achieve when there is solidarity and organization on an international level. But the true success there, which had led, I think, to the ceasefire eventually, is the way that the whole world mobilized like we've never seen for anything else. Suddenly it was no longer just a cause for Palestinians. It became a completely international cause that was actually mobilizing people in the millions. The boycott campaigns were growing, the demonstrations were growing, organizing events, organizing solidarity campaigns. This, we have never seen it happen on this level. It became almost shameful not to be part of this momentum. And I think that was a great pressure that was leading countries and politicians and campaigns to change their narratives, to try to meet the people with what they're asking about actually doing something for Palestine. And now when I look at countries like South Africa and Colombia and Honduras and Bolivia and Namibia and Malaysia, all like coming together to create this new bloc that is willing to take it upon itself to remind the world that we need to respect international law and move forward with pursuing accountability against Israel. I think especially after Trump became president and there was no more need, I think, to sugarcoat or to even, try to speak from, or do something from under the table, as we say. It became the speech, the racist speech or Islamophobic speech is just becoming very direct. So yeah, it is related, but I think it goes back to racism at the end of the day. And they're all honestly topics that feed into each other. Racism, Islamophobia, and they relate really to ignorance and to fear. Whenever people have fear, in Europe, for example, any sort of fear, fear of an economic crisis or anything, whenever you play on that fear, it's easy to just remind them of the other as the threat. That if we keep it away, we can solve your problems. And who's the other? It comes down to the Arab Muslim world. Before, we used to really try to, in a way, I think there was a point where, in a way, honestly, we were trying to beg the world to look at what's happening in Palestine. Right now, with the momentum and with the way everything has been exposed for what it is, not just the crimes of Israel, but the complicity of the world and the compliance of countries who claim to be the protectors of international law and of human rights. With that level of exposure, I think we're reaching a point where it will be shameful not to actually do something now, and there's this quote that, one day everyone would have been against this.